and welcome everyone. I hope that you enjoy the webinar for today. My name is Maria Solis, and I am a customer success engineer. I'm going to be presenting some of the getting started with ShareFile, and we also have Samantha here. Samantha?
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining as well. It's a pleasure to be presenting here. I'm part of the customer success engineering team, and we're just very excited to get this information to you. And just want to take the time to truly thank you. This is taking out of your time, your calendar, your busy week to go over some important information about ShareFile, best practices, and just the fact that you guys are here. We're very thankful for everybody joining this session. So this will be our agenda for today.
Okay, let's go ahead and sign in. If you know your subdomain, it's very easy to access ShareFile. All you have to do is access any browser and just type in subdomain.sharefile.com. In my case, my subdomain is Maria Solis, so it will be mariasolis.sharefile.com. And because I am typing in my subdomain right away, it will take me to the sign-in page just for me to type in credentials. That is one way. The second option is going to sharefile.com. And in our main page, you will see this login option in the top right corner. Click on it. You will request subdomain, so Maria Solis. And same process, it will take you to our signing page. Type in my email. And for this example, let's say that I don't remember my password. If that's the case, you will see this forgot password option. Click on it, and this will send you an email with a link so you can go ahead and reset your password. I have my email open so you can see that process. All you have to do is hit on this reset your password button, and that will take you to the site where you can reset the password. FYI, you need to have at least 8 characters in that password. It needs an uppercase, a lowercase, a number, and a special character. Let's go ahead and change that. And it has been completed. At this point, it will give you an option to go back to sign in. And that's it. All you have to do is type in the credentials with a new password and it will go through. Before we sign into ShareFile, I just want to show you one more thing. What happens if you don't know your subdomain? All you have to do in that case is go to sharefile.com and hit login. Once you hit login, you're going to see right below the continue option this button that says don't know your account subdomain. All you have to do is click there, and by typing in your email, the system will send you an email with all the accounts that have at you at some point to ShareFile. I'm going to show you the example of that email in a moment. This is it. As you can see, you're going to see the name of the company, the last signing, and the URL. You can always, as mentioned, see what the subdomain is on an account because it's going to show in front of the .sharefile.com. In this case, this is the one that I'm looking for. If you just copy this link and paste it on a new browser, it will take you to the same signing process. Okay, let's go ahead and sign in this time. Okay, and this is the main dashboard. This is where you're gonna see as soon as you sign into ShareFile. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about the dashboard. As soon as you access ShareFile, you're gonna see to the left the main menu. In the middle part, you're gonna see the shortcuts. With the shortcuts, you can practically do anything you want. You can share files, request files, even send a request for a signature. You will also see recent files. Anything that you have request or share is going to show up here. And if you scroll down a little bit more, you're going to see some tutorials and helpful links for ShareFile. This dashboard is you can go ahead and customize this as you want. You can remove any of this information, or you can even add your favorites here to the dashboard easily. Basically, as you can see, if you scroll down, now the favorites are showing up here in the button. Now we also have in the dashboard this option for you to see the activities. This little bell, this is for the notification. Anything that you have new, it's going to show up here. You also have the help option. If you click on help, it's going to take you to the help center for ShareFile. In here you can see the community, you can see the feature request, getting started videos, documentation, and in this same website you can access this chat with us box, and it will take you to this little window where you have to fill out your personal information, and you can request for support to contact you, or basically this is going to create a chat with them in case you have any type of technical issues. Let's close this. Moving on, we have the catalog option. If you click on catalog, you will see some options that you can install on your account, depending on the type of account that you have. For example, you can see here that we have the U.S. individual income taxes return. You will also see, well, in accounting is gonna right now it's showing the same information. Integrations, we have some integrations with QuickBooks, Salesforce. As you can see, there are a couple of options that you can choose here. We also have some templates. This work with projects, that is one of our features. That feature only comes available with the premium plan. We will talk a bit more about that later on, but as you can see, you can download projects that we have preloaded on ShareFile. And let me go back. Also, in the top right corner, you're going to see this apps option. This is basically where you can download any type of application for you to work with ShareFile, let's say in a faster way. For example, this Windows or ShareFile for Windows, where you can have like a little folder in your file explorer and basically use ShareFile faster without the need for you to sign into the web. Also, we have a plugin or an add-in for Outlook, where you can share and request information easily. And we also have the same application for Mac if you are a Mac user and not a Windows user. Also, we have some applications for the mobiles if you want to install them, and third-party integrations. And last but not least, we have the login or the log out option, where you can go ahead and log out of your account securely. Now that we have talked about the dashboard, let's move on to the folders and permissions. If you go to the left and go to the main menu, you will see the folders option. If you expand that option, you're going to have personal folders, share folders, favorites, file box, and also the recycle bin. We're going to talk a bit about each. The personal folder is mainly for you to add personal information here. You can actually provide access to a folder within your personal information without any type of issues. You can create folders, and you can even add people to the folder right away. In this case, I'm gonna hit no because we're gonna show you how to do that later on. You also have advanced folder settings. If you click on the three dots right next to the title of the folder, and you will see here information like the expirations date, retention policy, filing version, short order, or even a folder template. Also, if you create a folder right next to the name, you're going to see a people tab. Here is where you can also manually add any type of users to have access to the folder. Well, in this case, you'll have to go to add people to folder, type in the name. This is the person that we're going to apply the permissions to, and this to the left, I'm sorry, to the right is where you're going to choose the permissions that you want to provide to that person. Very important, if you remove the view option but mark the download option, the view option will be marked automatically. We also have folder alerts, where you can basically have an email sent to you when someone uploads or downloads information of that folder. And in the bottom part, we also have notification information for the users that you add to this email. You can even edit the message on the email that is going to be sent to that person if you want to. And you can apply the settings of the folder to the rest of your subfolders if you want to add that. I'm gonna remove it in this case and hit add. That person is going to show up here right away, and you can even change or edit the permissions if you want. Let's go ahead and talk about the share folders. The share folder is the root folder, is like the top level directory within ShareFile account. This is essentially for organizing everything properly. There's no way for you to add any file specifically to this folder. What you can do only is add folders, and you can add files within that folder. You can also have subfolders within that folder, but not add any type of files directly to this root folder. I'm going to show you how to create a folder and how to create subfolders so you can see how it works. As you can see in the top right corner, you're going to see this plus. Click on it and hit to create folders. As an example, we're going to name this marketing materials. Same process as before. You have the option to add people or add a specific template, add details if you want. I'm just gonna leave it as it is, and I'm gonna hit create folder. Now that I have this folder, I can add people to it. Same process as before, folder settings, or in this case, now that I created the subfolder, I can upload from my computer any type of files without any type of issues. I can also create subfolders, like for example, brochures, or maybe presentations. And this is going to be the main folder where you can have subfolders. You can have as many subfolders as you want. I think that should be it regarding this. Same process with the people tab where you can add users here. And same process with the advanced folder settings. You can choose the expiration date, retention policy, versioning, or any information that you can see here. Let's move on to the favorites. In here, this is pretty straightforward. Anything that you have, basically anything that you have, click on this little star right next to the folder is going to show up on the favorites. FYI, the favorites, you can also see them on the dashboard. If you had added the information or customize the information of the dashboard, you can go ahead and see the favorites also right away as soon as you sign in. The file box, by default, if you request for files, the system will save the files on the file box. Let me show you real quick. If I go ahead and hit request for a file on the dashboard, the file location, as you can see here, is by default going to show up file box. So you can manually change that to something else. It can be a personal folder, or it can even be a share folder. Okay. By default, if you don't change that information, all the files that you request are going to be saved here on this site. And you can easily move the information from here. If you, let's say that you forgot to change that, they're just going to show up listed here. You can highlight them and then just hit move and just choose the correct folder where they need to be, and that's it. We're gonna go now to the recycle bin. The recycle bin is basically the folder where everything that you delete is gonna go. If you delete something by mistake, or it can be a file or a subfolder or a folder, it doesn't matter if you did it. It's gonna basically be saved on your account for 45 days. That's the retention policy that by default we have. So anytime that you delete something by mistake, you can come to this recycle bin and basically, as you can see, let's say this folder, I can go ahead and restore. Now, if you delete this completely from the recycle bin, we can't recover that information, FYI. Next, we have the projects and the workflows tab. We're not going to talk much about these two features. First of all, because they have a lot of information that we have to cover, so it's not something that we can go through this webinar. But I do want to give you a couple of tips. Like, first, you're not going to be able to see these two tabs if you don't have a premium plan. Only premium plans will have access to projects, workflows, and signatures. Second, I'm going to show you what to do if you need to locate information about workflows and projects. So to get to the documentation that we have, all you have to do is go to google.com and just type ShareFile projects, for example. And you're going to see this link where you can access the documentation that we have live, or that we have currently for you to access. We also have some videos that you can review if you want on our YouTube channel. So just by typing in ShareFile projects, you will have the main documentation and some videos. If you access the documentation, you can see that it will give you screenshots on how to start the process, what to do, how to add users to that project, and even some main, let's say, permissions that we have pre-created in case you don't know what something means. If you are not completely clear after you read this information, or if you just prefer to have someone from ShareFile to give you a bit more of explanation and help you go through it, you can just go ahead and contact your customer success engineer. If you access your account, you can come to this icon for ShareFile in the bottom right corner. If you click on it, well, in my case, it's not going to show up, but you can see, for example, coming webinars, what's new. There should be an option here for get to know your CSE or contact your CSE, something like that. You can search your CSE from here. We also have the templates. If you click on this tab in here, you will have all type of templates that you have saved at some point for document requests or for projects. Anything that you have saved is going to be shown up here. And also you have the solutions template that is if you have downloaded a specific template uh, from ShareFile, here is where you can locate that information. We have the signatures. I am not going to talk too much about this because my coworker Samantha will be giving you a little bit more of information, and it will be showing you how to request for a signature very soon. So I'm just going to move forward. We have the inbox. The inbox is basically to see all type of information that you have requested, or if you have sent any type of emails, here is where you can see it. If you go to the sent files, you're going to see all of the entries. For example, if I send an email to a specific person, it's going to show up the email. If I just go to the shortcuts and request a file, request a link or copy a link, it's going to show up probably as anonymous, and there's not going to be any information on the subject, but you can see the expiration date and when the email or the link was created. From here, if you want, you can expire the link. Let's say that you send a link, but you don't want anyone else to access that link. Click on it, expire link. You also have the option to resend the link from here, as you can see, or edit the message options, like when it's going to expire. You will have the archive folder, and also you'll have an option to compose a new email. If you hit edit on the options, it will give you the same information when to expire, if that person will require to sign in order to be able to access, or if you want also to be notified once that link has been accessed. Then we have the people tab. The people tab is where you can provide license to your users. Let's say that you want to provide a license to a user. You can come here, type in the information, and here below are the permissions that you are providing to that person. So if let's say that you have a premium account and you want to provide signatures to a specific user, here is where you have to set it up. Signature, and you have to choose the ones that you want. And after that, FYI, all you have to do is hit create and continue for you to create an employee. Same process with the clients. Create the clients from here, set up the permissions that you want. Also, you have the option to create share address books, personal address books, and distribution groups if you want. You also have the option to resend the welcoming emails in case the last person that you added never received that email. You can do it from here. And last but not least, the settings. The admins will have the admin settings. If you're only an employee, you will only see personal settings. In here, you can change information like the password, phone number for the MFA if you set it up. As you can see, in this case I haven't, so it's gonna give me the enable option. Applications and connections. For the admins, they do have several more settings that I recommend you to go through. Right now I'm just going to show you something real quick. As you can see, my account has already like let's say a logo and some colors that I set up. If you want to set that up on your account, you can do it by going to admin settings and then company account information, edit company branding, and here is where you can go ahead and do the changes that you want for the company.
And I'm going to get started just deep diving a little bit about signatures. So let's start a walkthrough on how to set a document using e-signature with ShareFile. So in the top right corner, you have an option that says create write signature request. We have the option to send for signature, bulk send, or sign yourself if you have received a document that needs to be signed. For the purpose of this demo, I will only touch base on send for signature, but know that you can send a document to multiple people or again, sign yourself. So just a basic um, send for signature here, it allows you to select from ShareFile from your computer or use a template, which we will touch base in a little bit. So we are going to look for our document that we need to send for signature. So assuming that you already have it stored somewhere in your ShareFile account, I am going to look for my document. In this case, I'm going to select this offer letter example. And for this specific demo today, I will be presenting kind of an example with real estate. Now, after you select the document that you want to set, let's talk about setting the signing order and why this feature is so valuable. So, for example, in legal documents where they need to be reviewed by multiple stakeholders, for example, like in a real estate transaction or a legal contract, it is necessary to establish a signing order. This, allows to or helps to avoid confusion and ensures the document goes to the right people at the right time. So for here, I'm going to add myself. So I will be signing the document, and I am also adding this to my recipient. In this case, it is going to go to my recipient. Just a moment here. Let me just type in, and then okay. Now you can also add other recipients if you need them just to view the document, not necessarily sign, but if you want to share the progress of the document while it's being signed, you can add as well as many viewers as you need. And from here as well, you can also send in bulk if you missed to select it from the first screen. You don't have to go back after selecting the document. As well, I'm the only signer, which would be translated into sign myself. So we're going to set the sign-in order. For this purpose, I am going to send this to myself to sign first, and then to the person that we will be sending the offer letter. Now, once you've added your recipients that will be getting the document, you'll see here the option to assign fields right here on the top left. So this is color coded. I have, in this case, myself, it's blue, and then the receiver, Jon Snow, it's color orange. And you can switch in between them as you need and as we go through. So I will walk you through just completing this this template right here. We have the option to insert here signature, initials, dates, general text, drop down menu, which we can manually modify this based on what information needs to be added here. We have a checkbox and checkbox group if you need one checkbox out of multiple, and then attachment. This becomes handy if you need to add another document or a receipt, as well as integrated payment, which that is something that you can touch base on another webinar or more information moving ahead, but know that this is available and it becomes very handy. So let's start here. I am going to, I need, in this case, myself. Let me go ahead and select myself again. And let's just start here, adding all the important information. Oh, sorry, add. Let me remove this one. So let's do a text field. And I will try to power through this. Just want to show you how everything works. Now, here, you do have the option to detect for fields, but we are going to make this manual just so you can see a little bit about how this works, and you can edit the font size. It kind of gives you an overview of how it's going to look like once everything is filled. Now for purchase price, also going to add here some text. Now here that says settlement date, we can add a date tab. Also for our checkbox here, this is an individual checks if either it's a yes or no, so this would be an individual checkbox. And very important here, for example, you can always select whether you require that field um, to be completed or not. Know that if you do select that this option here that says required field, if on the receiver end or the signer that receives the document, if they do not fill this information, they're not going to be able to complete the document. So make sure that there are no errors. If there's any information that needs to be left blank, or if it does not apply, things like that, make sure that you use this wisely. Then let's continue here very quickly. Amount to be borrowed. For the purpose of this demo, just 2 lines in here I will add. And then also add here. And again, I am just kind of powering through this. There are a lot of videos and information that shows how to create and start a document. Now we have passed into the signature fields. So for here, I am going to add, in this case, myself as the first signer, my signature field. And then on the other end, the receiving end, color coded the other requested signature. Now we want to make sure that the date, that the stamp here, it's for the time that they are signing. And then let me go back to myself, add date of that I will be signing. And that was pretty much it filling this form. There's nothing much more here to go through. So this kind of looks like just an example of offer letter. And now that we have placed all fields, let's go to our next step. So, just to kind of wrap up and give you just the essential details in what we went through. So again, we can add fields like initials, dates, text boxes, and get each signer into color coded. So this truly just makes it everything simple, to keep a track of who needs to sign what. If you're working with multiple stakeholders that require to sign one document, you know that everything is going to be color coded. Now, once we have here everything prepared, it's going to ask us for document name. You can always change this. Here we're going to do signed. Just change this into signed. And where would you like the signed document to be saved? Now, because I selected and because it was already on my ShareFile account in the ShareFile folder, it is automatically detecting where it's coming from. So it's going to suggest for me to save it in that same place, but I can always come back here and manually look for the destination where I need this to be saved into. Now, do I want to send a note? For example, here on below, this has an expiration date. So let's add this. This could be like a personalized email, personalized memo, or just a note like, hey, this needs to be signed before next week. So let's do that. And here, very self-explanatory, our expiration date. This document will no longer be available to sign after the specific number of dates, and we can change this. Now, the limitation would be 1 year, as it's shown here, 365. We are going to do 15 days to give a little bit of a stretch. And then now I want to talk about the security features that ShareFile offers. So we have the option to create a passcode. This will, if I enable this, this will generate a random number, or I can do generate new passcode if you don't feel happy with the number that was given. And you can also delete backspaces and enter a specific code yourself that you would like to share. Now, it's very important to know that this code will not be sent automatically to the signers. This, of course, for security purposes, this is something that you need to provide to them yourself manually, whether it's internal in your company or you can send them an encrypted email. Just make sure that it's a secure way and that only the person that is signing that confidential document gets it. But this won't be sent to them directly. So make sure that you copy, paste it, save it. You can always go back into the document and see the code, but whenever you're starting it, to make sure that you keep a track of this, that you save it. And also we have the option to do the knowledge base authentication. And this becomes specifically handy if you required, if this is extra confidential, they will independently, each signer will independently receive a knowledge-based, just a questionnaire asking them for specific information that they have to go through. Once past verification, they can proceed and fill the document. Now, this is powered by a third-party application in which it collaborates with ShareFile to make sure that everything is secure. And this is all private. You won't have access to their responses, absolutely confidential. And then this it allows us to change this default settings from here. Our signature types, if you allow them to be typed, or if we allow email attachments, things like that, but we can always edit that moving forward. So I think this is pretty well explained. Let's just move forward. For the purpose of this demo, I won't be enabling any of the security options. All right, so this is what our document looks like. Now it's asking me to sign it, and it doesn't allow, in this case, Jon Snow to sign it because I haven't signed it first. Remember that we set a signing order. So I am going to sign this myself. And let me just show you. Okay, so here I closed this too soon. I received an email on on my end. So let me go ahead and open that and show you how that looks like. I am going to do review and sign document. and my signature. We can draw our signature or make it typed. And then our date again. So that is how that looks. And I'm gonna go ahead and submit signature. And let me go back to my ShareFile. So now I got it. I have already signed this document. Let's refresh it. There we go. So now that it's signed, we can also send reminders to the receiver end if needed. And also very important that if you're working on a template that it's very repetitive, or that the rest of your team will be using it, you can always make it into a template. And like Maria has explained, you can share it with your coworkers, and have just a database of your own templates. And that would be for creating a document in ShareFile's e-signature. This is what templates look like, and creating a template would be from here. And it's the same process to fill the document in. Now, I am going to touch base a little bit about here in the People's tab. We are going to go to our Manage Users home. So from here, we can create employee accounts or create client accounts. So creating employee accounts, I think that's more on the admin side, if you need to provision licenses. So I won't be touching base on that for today's demo. We're going to go into create a client. And this is very easy to do. So this is kind of if you want to have client information in your system, if you eventually need to send them documents, add them into a folder, or just have a distribution list that you need, or a perspective list, you can add them here. And if you're adding multiple clients at the same time, you can do a bulk import using an Excel sheet. I won't be showing this due to the lack of time, so we're just going to go ahead and manually create a client. So let's add here John Snow. For purpose of here, we're going to utilize this email, just a second, and then this are required fields, and then company can be left blank, but if needed, we can here add the company name, where they're coming from. We can also add another if you're doing, a few at the same time. And then we can do create and continue. Do we want to assign them to any specific folder? If we do, they will have immediate access to a folder. If not, they are just going to be added into the database. No notification is going to be sent. So if you want something like that, just do continue anyway. And then it allows us to send this is a personalized message to them, letting them know that they need to activate their account, and that they are going to now be part of your ShareFile account. So if you want a copy of this email, you can do so, and you can manually edit this, do a preview of how this is going to look like. And that's kind of what they'll be receiving on their end. And they will just click on activate my account, create a password, and they should be all set. So now we are going to do, we can do a skip if you don't want to send them the email immediately. You can always come back and send it later from resend welcome emails, or we can do notify right away. So for this, I will. And now they are added into my client database. On a general note, you have your personal settings, you have your own personal security settings, and this is very personal. Unless you have SSO enabled by your company, then that's completely different. But this two-step verification allows you to, link your cell phone to receive a text message or a voice call if you want to make sure that nobody's accessing your account without your knowledge. Then we have our connectors. This is particularly useful if you have your workbox or personal drive, personal OneDrive that you would like to have direct access from ShareFile. And this just allows you to move information from one place to another in one go. And this looks like, so once I have my Google Drive connected here, it looks this way. So if I go to my folders, it's going to look like this, Google Drive. So now I should have access to everything that's on my Google Drive from there. And advanced connections, again, more into the admin settings. If your organization needs to set this up, I won't touch base on this. Then we have apps on devices. If you have your application downloaded, it's going to give you your trusted devices and connections. Again, this is a little bit more on the admin side, so I won't be touching base on this. But if you had any connections with any other platform, you will see it here. And to finalize, we have our applications. This is available applications additional from sharefile.com. We have the option to use ShareFile for Windows, ShareFile for Mac, and our third-party integrations. So ShareFile for Windows, and let me share my screen here. It looks like this. Let me just this is what your ShareFile for Windows looks like. It looks like if you had, another drive here, and this is a mirror to what you have in your sharefile.com. So you have your favorites. Personal cloud would be kind of like your personal file box, and then personal folders and share folders. And as long as this is blue, it means that everything is being uploaded into the cloud. And then we have our share file for Outlook, which I won't be touching base on how to install it. Just go through the installation process. Once it's installed, you can send encrypted emails from there. You can request files as well from there. You can make more personalized emails from your account without, having to use the ShareFile box that may, look bulky. If you want to make it more personal, coming from your organization or your own branding, you can use ShareFile for Outlook. And if you're a Gmail user, you can always use Gmail as well. And then we have apps for Mac, which is the same as the file box, but just it works in the Mac's File Explorer, and our same ShareFile for Outlook and Gmail. And the mobile application, you can always download it, keep it on the go, if by any chance you use your phone for work purposes. And then we have our third-party integrations, which again, this will be more on your organization if you need to use any of these. But we also have the Microsoft Office integration that you can use. I won't be touching base on that due to the lack of time, but you can always install it, collaborate with your teams, and that would be pretty much on my end. I think Maria touched very well on where to get your resources. And again, any questions you have, you can always contact your CSE.